Welcome to the Global Interview. Thank you for listening. This is where you can keep up to date with all the latest news and information direct from leading creatives, leaders, and thinkers. We can help to keep you right up to date with all the latest information from interesting people who make a real difference in this globally connected world. You can find out more about the show at theglobalinterview.com. Enjoy the episode.
Shona Hirons says her troubles started on the day she was born, having been born very prematurely. Her dad was told that she wouldn't survive the night, but I'm still here, she says. I was lucky that throughout most of my childhood, I didn't have any major problems and even went on to swim for my country. However, in her late teens, she started to experience severe migraines, and when she was 22, she had a mini stroke. She fully recovered but had to take a medication cocktail, which she was told to do. I wouldn't be able to have children whilst on this medication, so I spent most of my 20s and early 30s concentrating on my career as a lawyer. When she was 32, she discovered that her mini-stroke was caused by a hole in her heart, which she had been born with. Shortly after the heart surgery, to fix the hole by placing a titanium device in her heart, my migraines literally stopped overnight, and a few months later, after coming off the medication, I discovered I was pregnant with my daughter. It was like a miracle at the time to her, so she decided to change her priorities around work. She wanted to have a more flexible time and reduce hours, but her previous employer wasn't happy with it, making it difficult for her to do this. Instead, I found myself working 80-hour weeks, which totally broke me. At that time, I had no self-esteem. I felt like a failure at work and in my personal life. I had a breakdown in May 2013 and spent 3 weeks in bed, she says. So Shona decided to leave her 14 years career and took a huge pay cut, which didn't matter, and trained as a spin instructor. After a year, she started to regain her confidence and self-esteem and discovered mindfulness, her savior. I was happy with my life again. In 2015, she was headhunted for a high-pressure role in Bristol. At first, Shona declined the job because although it was a fabulous opportunity, she wasn't ready to do a job like that again. 4 months later, they approached Shona again, and this time, providing they'd allow her to work flexible working hours, Shona accepted the position. The first 9 months were great. I dealt with my anxiety of going into Bristol by cycling the 12 miles to work every day, and in the first 3 months, I won Employee of the Quarter, which really helped rebuild my self-esteem further. In January 2017, whilst cycling to work, her tire hit a wet patch on the road, and she was thrown over the handlebars, cracking her helmet in half and leaving the biggest bruise ever on her leg. I was unable to walk for a couple of weeks, so I was signed off work. Shona returned to work in February 2017, less than a month after the first accident, but made the decision not to cycle that day as it had been raining, and she didn't want to risk it. On the following day, it was sunny, so she decided to cycle in. When Shona got to the same road that the previous accident had happened, she remembers thinking that she needed to slow down. I deliberately checked my helmet. The next thing I remember is coming around in an ambulance a while later. Shona came off her bike in the same place, but this time her injuries were a lot more serious. She spent a few days in intensive care, broke all the bones around her orbital area, smashed her cheekbone, fractured her jaw and base of her skull. Shona lost the hearing in her left side, and it was touch and go whether she would lose her sight. A couple of weeks later, I underwent major facial reconstructive surgery and had rebuilt the whole left side of my face with titanium pins and plates. My hearing was fixed a year later when I had more surgery. Shona's recovery was long and slow. She was unable to do much at all for around 4 months, and she took a total of 6 months off work. Unfortunately, when Shona returned to work, she was much slower, which was a major obstacle for her employers. I was given the choice of either being put on a performance improvement plan for a month, take an unpaid sabbatical until I was better, or leave. Shona left her company, as she wasn't going through this again. During her recovery, Shona's consultant had told her that there would be certain things she'd never be able to do again. I went on a mission to set myself big goals to achieve whatever I wanted to. The biggest challenge for me was getting back on a bike, so I entered a half Ironman event and completed it, which was such a huge achievement for me. I went skiing, despite being told the altitude could kill me. Shona says. Shona retrained in NLP, mental health and nutrition. She gave inspirational talks at events and for businesses all over the UK about ending the stigma and discrimination around mental health in the workplace. Shona is also an ambassador for Mind UK and a Time to Change champion. Have started her own business as an executive coach, working with senior executives and business owners, helping them to work smarter, not harder. In July 2019, Shona was diagnosed with uterine cancer. She had to have a total abdominal hysterectomy and a course of radiotherapy, but thankfully she was one of the lucky ones. This has only motivated me to do great things. I believe tough people are made from tough times, and I absolutely love life now. I don't regret anything. I actually believe everything happens for a reason, and that's why I'm doing what I do now. Tell us about your current role and what you like about your career/role or areas of focus. I work with senior executives and business owners, helping them to increase their productivity, working smarter, not harder. I work with them to find more time, better health, more wealth, improved sleep, and better diet. I give inspirational talks to businesses at events, and I am a #1 best-selling author. I am genuinely excited to get out of bed every morning. I have always enjoyed helping people, and I am good at putting myself in other people's shoes. With so much lived experience, I can often resonate with what someone is going through. Sometimes all it takes is listening to someone. Seeing people transform into the person they deserve to be within just a few short weeks makes me so happy. What inspires you, motivates you, helps you to make each day count? Seeing someone get up rather than give up. Knowing that I'm going to make a difference every day motivates me. Having experienced burnout, serious illness and a life-changing accident, but still thriving for life, I don't take anything for granted. I start my day with affirmations and find something positive every day because there's enough negativity in the world. Outside of your professional work area, what hobbies or interests do you have, or what areas of your life are of real importance? I am a huge fitness fanatic and schedule time to do a workout and several walks with my dog every day. I love walking in nature and coming out of the woods, feeling taller than the trees. I teach spin classes in my spare time. Having experienced poor health and trauma, keeping my body and mind healthy is so important to me. I can regularly be seen taking part in triathlons, half Ironman events and anything that really challenges me. I also enjoy cooking, and my favorite thing to do is making unhealthy recipes healthy, with simple adaptations. When it comes to your life-chosen career, is there a phrase, quote or saying that you really like? I have a tattoo on my leg, which says, "Without struggle there can be no progress." I believe everything happens for a reason, and seeing this quote every day makes me appreciate how far I've come. What are you most proud of in your life? Being proud that I chose to start again at the age of 42, despite being told by some that I was being ridiculous to give up an excellent legal career. I am proud that I followed my own path. My daughter recently had to write a letter for a school project about what inspired her, and she said that I was her inspiration, and when she's old and grey like me, she wants to be just like me. That makes me so proud. What do you wish you had known when you started out? Not to settle for second best because I am good enough. It's okay to make mistakes, just learn from them. It's important to chase your dreams and not just sleep with them. Live your life and not the one your parents wished they'd had, because life is too short and precious to chase someone else's dreams. What do you most admire in business, academic or creative circles? I admire businesses that can put health and well-being at the top of their priority. Leaders who recognize that their staff are just as important as their customers. Those that have a compelling mission statement, which incorporates the ideas of all staff and not just those at the top. What companies, brands, or institutions do you like or think are getting it right? On a smaller scale, Brit Insurance and Toro Recruitment. I worked with both of them, and they prioritize the health and well-being of their staff. They treat everyone as equals and with respect. As a result, they have high morale amongst staff, less turnover, less staff sickness and happy customers. On a larger scale, I look up to IBM. Their values are centered around the dignity of the individual, excellence and service. No matter what else changes, these three things don't ever change. The whole organization has this belief system. All the values are shared, and there is personal security for everyone who works there. What is the best advice you have ever received? To just be myself. What drives or motivates you each day in a work environment? Seeing hard work pay off by seeing great results. Having my results applauded and recognized. What are your thoughts on the future of social media platforms, and why? I think social media is a way to excel and succeed in business. For me, social media is at the heart of my business. This is how I get most of my work. I'm yet to join the clubhouse, but I think this is going to be the next big platform. I love talking, so I'm looking forward to getting involved. What is your favorite social media platform, and why? For me, it's Facebook, but from a business perspective. I have a successful Facebook group full of people who need my help. We have lots of engagement every day, and it gets people connected and feeling valued. Do you have a mentor, or have you ever been a mentor to anyone? My business coach is my mentor. He keeps me accountable every day, pushing me beyond my comfort zone. I have been a mentor to several people. I have clients who come to me every week and have done since I started my business, to stay motivated and be listened to. How do you network? What is your preferred way to network? I am a member of several networking groups. I regularly attend meetings and am often the guest speaker. I was also the group leader for a networking business for over a year. I prefer networking online because it has enabled me to reach out to far more people. What advice would you have for someone looking to get into the same area of work? Make sure this is your why. You have to have great listening skills and not judge anyone. Offer value and an outcome rather than trying to sell your service to someone. Build rapport and trust and be consistent. Above all, be yourself. What do you feel is the most common reason for people failing or giving up? I think they cling on to the past or worry too much about what-ifs. They don't set themselves compelling goals. I look at failure as success in disguise. I used to think I was a failure, but now I realize that I hadn't failed. I just hadn't found my purpose, and for every mistake that I've made, I've learned from it and done things better as I advance. How do you define success, and what lessons have you learned so far that you could share with our audience? Success for me is making a difference in the lives of people every day through just being me. I have learned that having a balance of work, rest and play every day is crucial. I was raised to believe that you were only successful if you went to university, got a high-paying job and had a big house. I did have these things, but they didn't make me happy. I was always stressed, unwell and miserable. Since changing my life and following my own dreams, I may not have the material things that I used to have, but I'm positive, happy and full of life. The people around me benefit from this and are also happier. What skills do you feel have helped you to become successful? Discovering what was important to my family and me. I found out the hard way, but once I started to have balance in my life, the stress and anxiety disappeared, and all of my relationships improved dramatically. Is there anything new that you are working on or involved in that you would like to share? I have just started writing my second book, Broken to Bionic, published later this year. This is my story of how I overcame extreme adversity, serious illness and trauma, but it's not a story of doom and gloom. It is also a self-help book that will inspire anyone who just needs a boost and the motivation to follow their dreams. I have also recently launched my new signature program, Executive Life Mastery. Over 6 weeks, anyone who wishes there was more than 24 hours in a day, regularly missing deadlines and working into their social time, will no longer feel like this at the end. They will be working less but earning more.
Thank you for listening to this episode from The Global Interview. We appreciate your support. If you would like to find out more, please visit theglobalinterview.com.